they come along later, and now the Melbourne Storm. They're real teams. They're club teams.
Yeah, I agree. Now, even you, Raa Walker, would remember the Raiders back in those days, eh?
Oh, not just remembered them, Keithy, but revered them. I mean, there's only ever been 4 teams I've supported in the NRL, and, I just thought now, bizarrely enough, they're all non-Sydney teams too, from, the Broncos to the Storm to the Raiders to the Warriors. They're all not from Sydney, the sort of the place where NRL is sort of grown from. But no, the boys aren't wrong. I mean, they were one of those legendary teams, and you just had to look at some of the names that had been made mention. I mean, some of the greatest the game has ever seen, and for good reason. Why people like me and other pundits and fans enjoyed their style of play back in the day. They were just so classy, and you wanted to be like them. I mean, the way they threw the ball around, and I've only seen that type of sort of style in the other teams like the Broncos and also the Storm. So maybe it's a non-Sydney thing, the way that outside clubs tend to sort of play a more attractive style of football.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things you did mention, of course, is Bradley Clyde, AJT, and he was, he was tough. He just had, I don't know, a certain skill set on him that just made him, I don't know, just great to watch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he almost was a complete player for that lock position. You almost have a free rein to do whatever he liked. He's a very strong defender, very good runner with the ball, either at the line, could run through the line, could pop a pass, and had a bit of a swerve on him as well. And just a very, very, and probably almost as equally as important, had a massive motor, could go the distance,
Yeah.
And not the sort of guy that sort of courted controversy. He was sort of clean cut sort of player. Played the game hard, but never ever saw his name in the paper for any misdemeanor at all. And yeah, just a joy to watch, mate, in full flight, Brad Clyde. And,
absolutely. And he fit in with the right team too, it seemed. Now, Rino, of course, the other game that's on tonight. One of the other games on tonight, the Warriors-Broncos. It's a real key game for both teams, I think, this one, eh?
Yeah, it is, and expecting hopefully a big crowd. Traditionally, in the years gone by, Broncos bring a pretty good crowd to the stadium. It's a special day as well because they remember also Quinton, who played for the Warriors back in the day, and they've got a special jersey in recognition of him as well, wearing his number on the side of the jersey. I made mention on Wednesday of the fundraiser for Quinton, obviously through Sir Peter Leach and many others. They've got some big names coming over of Kiwi legends, and obviously it's going to continue because the money's going to go to Quinton's 2-year-old daughter.
Right.
And help out the family there as well. So it is going to carry on. I think I was kind of giving you an update on Wednesday where things were, but I can let you know it's still going on, and it's still going to be a big night. So, yeah, tonight the game, 7:30. All the other games are there as well. The touch team are playing, so plenty they're going up there, but it's all in remembrance of Quinton. Both teams, Broncos been playing pretty good of recent, and a couple of good wins, obviously over the Roosters, but also the Warriors had a couple of back-to-back wins. Can they make it 3 at home? Who knows? As I mentioned Wednesday, you don't know what Warriors bloody team is going to turn up tonight. Broncos will come over to play, they always do. And it's also bringing back memories of the Easter year because there's a celebration with this game. Everyone remembers Kevin Campion and the big old swings and old punch-ups in the big game back in the day. Alan Gutenberg got in a couple of haymakers there as well. Monty started it. So it's kind of reflecting on that and more so based around Quinton today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, the Broncos now... they've come off a couple of good wins of late, I think, haven't they? Yeah, they've come off a couple of good wins of late. So, obviously, they're going to be wanting to push for a win today, aren't they, Rino?
Yeah, they will do. They want to get these points, because maybe the one or two players from their team may go into Queensland Origin duties. We'll see what happens, obviously, when the teams are announced next week. But, yeah, they'll want the 2 points. This is their vital time where all these points are, much needed. So the Warriors will need it. Both teams are going for it. Cody Nikorima, he'll be stepping up again. He's had 2 good games for the Warriors. He knows the ins and outs of the Bronx. So got a bit of an insight there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Which team turns up? 7:30 kickoff. Should be a good crowd, and the weather looks good up this way. So let's hope we turn it on, especially for the Pongia whānau.
What do you reckon about that game there, Raa? Broncos Warriors?
Yeah, well, both teams are pretty much neck and neck on the table, so, both sides have a lot to play for, some more than others. Then, when you get Nikorima, who was actually praised by the Broncos coach during the week, which makes you wonder why they got rid of him. But no, it's going to be a great clash, and for those of our listeners who don't have Sky, I believe it's going to be shown live on Prime from 7 o'clock. Yeah. So there'll be a lot of fans out there who'll be sort of keen to sort of, sit in front of the box instead of waiting until late when Prime used to show the Warriors games. But no, I don't think it's going to be a great clash, Keithy, and I just hope our boys, the men from Auckland, that they can string a few hit-ups and set pieces together and really sort of pull it out of the bag, because it's not going to be a walkover. I mean, the Warriors tend to make it hard for themselves even when they're up against opposition who they can probably beat on a good day. But no, it's going to be a great game, and I just hope the boys fire in front of a home crowd.
It's going to be an interesting one, nonetheless. Now, of course, you'll still...
Just to jump on, just jump in there too. Today's a big special day because it's the 25th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And over the next few weeks, I think it was Thursday night, they released the Keeping the Faith, I think it was, or the documentary on the history of the 25 years of the Warriors.
Right. They've
got it in 3 episodes, so it comes up in a couple of weeks. But today marks a special occasion as well. Some of the original Warriors are in town from 1995, because they were the team that got it underway. Everyone talks about the big army display, all the explosions, this whole new thing that come, especially for this country with the NRL Rugby League, that we really hadn't had a taste of. So they kind of launched it, and none other than Dean Bell was highly spoken about in the first series. It's a huge day. I think the likes of Gene Namu and all them are all back for the game as well. So it reflects on the 25 years. And some of the old Broncos, Willie Kahn and all them back in town. So it's a massive day, not just for Quinton Pongia, but also to recognise where it all started 25 years ago.
True. Of course, the opening game.
All the highlights. 3 episodes is about 2 episodes too many.
What was that, JT?
Would they need 3 episodes to get all their highlights?
It was pretty good, actually. I didn't realise when I was watching the first on the turmoil of Super League, the club was just about done and closed. I didn't realise that when Super League, they only made 1 year in the NRL. The Super League deal, the players were basically fighting for an income.
True.
It explained all of that. Some of them actually played, and some idiot got a hold of how much they were getting paid, and they released it to the paper back in the day.
Right.
And they had a big fallout. Joe Wagner spoke about the team and the whole club nearly folded. Yeah, they needed some major financial assistance.
Yeah. It was interesting.
There's a bit of history that's come out.
It was also interesting how they got set up and how they got, how they got going, and that would be interesting to watch there
even
well.
the tiny inclusion and all that type of stuff. Malcolm Boyle, Graham Hughes, it all got released, and holy hell, I didn't realise all this being a Warriors fan.
Now, the funny thing is, because I remember when the Warriors played the Broncos, in that very first game, and how close it was, Rino? It was just a really close game, and it was funny that it showed just how promising maybe our Warriors would be. And now 25 years down the track, wow, look what's happened,
Actually, I think JT shared something. Was it Game of Thrones or some bloody thing?
Yes.
Something and it's mixed with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Holy hell!
Mixed with sarcasm.
After 8 seasons, still disappointing. This is 25, something like that.
Please try 25 seasons.
Anyway, we're going to go to a break. We'll be back with more Full Time right after this. On behalf of the full-timers, I would just like to say big thanks to Joachim Currid, who brings us our music intro. Check him out on joachimcurrid.com. He's also on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, Instagram, and follow him on Facebook. Another big thanks goes out to Silent Partner, who brings us our outro. Check out their music on YouTube. And also thanks must go to the Polish Ambassador for the backing music for this promo. Check out the Polish Ambassador on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Beatport, Instagram, Twitter, and on his website, thepolishambassador.com.
You're listening to a podcast produced by Tūrangi FM, number one iwi radio station in Aotearoa. We play each full-time session on Tūrangi FM Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. You can listen in live on our Tūrangi FM media page. Just click the main Tūrangi FM logo to tune in online. Or if you're in the Gisborne area, we're on the radio frequencies 91.7, 95.7 and 98.1. Also check out the Fulltime Facebook page where you can listen to the podcast again. Make comments and click links that will lead you to other ways to listen to the podcast, such as Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, Podchaser and Tumblr. Right, let's get back to the Fools on Fulltime.
Welcome along to our second session here on Fulltime. I want to send another shout out, of course, going out to our sponsors, Racetrack Motors down there on Grey Street. Now, continuing on with League. Now, of course, JT, your Storm tomorrow, they go up against the Bulldogs. How do you reckon they'll go?
Well, the Storm has a well-balanced side in terms of their ethnic makeup, Keith.
Okay, unlike a particular team that you're trying to suggest, is that they've got a good makeup, but unlike a particular team, maybe?
There could possibly be a side that's not based in Sydney, or in fact, even not even based in Australia. It's probably top heavy in certain persuasions,
right?
Which probably could do a little bit of bit of a mix-up to give it more balance on the field. Like the Storm has a pretty good balance of different ethnicities that seems to work well. So that balance should carry them across the line against the Bulldogs on Sunday, Keith, tomorrow.
What do you reckon there, Reno?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree 1,000% with JT on everything he just said then.
Get off the fence.
But if you want a result, I'll tell you what, I'll go the Doggies, Doggies. I've got to pick an outside team, the underdog team, but I can't see it.
Well,
and I won't put $50 on it.
Put $50 on it. Just like, the first three picks from JT's son. Boy, that was some pretty good going. Now, before that, of course, the last game, the Rabbitohs West Tigers. Man, now that should be another good game, really, JT? What do you reckon?
Yeah, the Rabbitohs sort of building towards, looking at the end of the season. They'll be there or thereabouts, no doubt about it. But the Tigers, they've been a little bit inconsistent, but who knows? They're a side almost like the Warriors, although they've got a probably fairly even spread of ethnic makeup. They're not stacked top heavy with certain people, but yeah. Look, don't expect too much other than a good game of footy. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but I'm a bit distracted, Keith. Wake up the listeners.
Fair enough. So perhaps, so obviously you're going for the Rabbitohs, is that right?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, at home, tough to beat.
Yeah, I think so. What do you reckon, Reno? Tough to beat?
Yeah, it will be tough to beat at home to the Rabbitohs, obviously with the news of Greg Inglis, who's admitted himself into mental health places, to get himself sorted, so that'll be right on the back of their minds. The great GI who retired just recently from their team. But yeah, the Rabbits, mate. The Rabbits should do it. Won't be to be too classy, I would guess. But then again, the Tigers, if Robbie and Benji step up, you just don't know, eh?
Yes. It's an interesting one, eh? Interesting one indeed. Sharks, Dragons there, Reno?
Yeah, okay, I'll go the Sharkies, eh?